Okay, guys. Week 4, lesson 3, last lesson of the week on Friday, and we're live this morning. And this is our final class, finally on arithmetic, and this is the last bit of the higher level arithmetic. So the idea is to leave this now, and this day next week I'll give you a functions question and an arithmetic question in the Friday class, and that will form a grade basically. So I'll give you 2 questions. I'll give you 45, no, even less, about 35 minutes to do both of the questions. You'll have an exam. So let's finish off the topic, right? And I gave you these for homework here: 2, 7, 9, 11, 12 and 13. So you'll have a quick correction of those, and then I'll give you the work for the rest of the class, which is a couple of questions based down here on the revision exercise. There's lots of them, but I'll just give you some of those to do to keep you going for the rest of today's hour. No homework today because it's Friday. And of course then, once this video is done, we can have time if you want to ask any questions on the homework or anything about arithmetic in general. I can answer that for you today as well. And we're on to something brand new on Monday. Okay, right, so question number 2. So question number 2 is here. Basic ones for the formula. Remember this compound interest formula. So I'll just put the equation up the top. So F is 1 plus I times the time times the amount of years. So in this particular question here, so question number 2, you're going to be doing your premium is what they say in 16,000. It's going to be your P. 1 plus what's the interest rate is going to be 3% or 0.03, whatever you want, 3%, like that. And how many years are they saying? For 6 years, straight into a calculator, and that gives you, seconds, right? 104 euros and 84 cents. Okay, the question says, well, it doesn't ask you for the total amount. Be careful of these. It actually asks you for the total interest earned. So we're looking for the difference. So if you have 19,104 and 84 cents, take away what you had at the start, which was 16,000, and you get, just take away 16, so you end up with 3,104 euros and 84 cents. Not bad for a year when you're just sitting there. That's question 2. Question 7 I'm not going to correct because it's exactly the same. Only difference is you have a different P, you have a different I, and you have a different T. So you're just subbing in exactly the same formula, and the solutions are going to be out on the right hand side, so you can check your answer to number 7, but it's absolutely identical. Question 9 is pretty much the same thing, but we'll do it anyway because there's a slight difference in question 9. Question 9 is so it's the same thing. You have F, you have P's, you have I's, and you have T's. The only difference is for question 9 is that they give you the P. Sorry, they don't give you the P and they give you the F instead. So if we read question 9, find the amount in the nearest cent that needs to be invested at the rate of 3.2, so there's my interest rate, to give 12,500 in 6 years' time. So in 6 years' time. So there's my 3 things I need. So we stick to the same formula. The only difference here is that they've given us the start. They've given us the answer, I suppose. So they've given us 12,500, which is equal to X, or I suppose leave it the way it is, leave it as P. And we've 1 plus 3.2%. And the amount of years they give us is 6. So we put that into, we can put that straight into our calculator if we want to find P. But I suppose if you're doing it from an algebra point of view, you would have P is equal to your 12,500 over the whole thing. So 1 plus 3.2% to the power of 6. Like that. So you can put that straight into your calculator now, which is P is equal to €10,347.41. That's how much it's going to be worth in 6 years' time. Okay. So let's have a look then at question number 11. So I'll just go out here a bit. You can still see it, can we? You can still see some of the solutions there as well. I've put up for you. Question number 11 is Mustafa borrows 16,000 at 3%. 16,000 at 3%. Okay, there's our first piece of information. At the end of year 1, he repays 2,000. The rate of interest is then lowered to 2%. So how much will he owe for the end of the second year? Okay, so this is another one of these that we just go step by step. So we have at the start, this guy has, so what question number is that again? Question number 11. So he's question 11, and he has 16,000 multiplied by, so it's 3%. So you're going to have 1.03. So the full amount and 3%, so 1.03. And if we multiply that 16 by 1.03, that gives you 16,480 euros. Then it says he pays back 2,000. So the amount of the loan, so you have 16,480 and he pays back 2,000 euro. He gets a few quid and he pays back 2,000 euros. Take that away, that gives you 14,480 euro. Okay, but then they say the rate of interest is then lowered to 2%. Right, so but he still owes 14,480 and he's still going to have to pay that at the second year, not at 1.03, but at 1.02. So 2% interest rate. If you multiply that, 2 is 14,769 euros and 60 cents. That's how much he's going to owe. So that's your final answer there. Okay. Question 12 is exactly the same. Exactly the same. The only thing that causes a bother, obviously, with question 12 is this big, massive. You're not talking about a bloke borrowing a few quid from a bank or a credit union. You're talking about a country borrowing money. But you're just using that big, massive figure, and you're going to use 0.5% for the first year. And then you don't even have to pay it back. You don't pay it back after the first year. Then you just, whatever the answer is, whatever's left, you use 0.42% for the whole thing. And again, the answer to question 12 is out on the other side. Okay, I'm going to do question 13 for you, just for the sake of completion. No point doing them all, but this is slightly different again. And so question 13, Nicky, whoever Nicky is, invested 100 grand for 4 years in a variable savings account, guaranteed a rate of 3% for the first year. At the start of the second year, the rate changed to 3.25, and this was set for the remainder of the investment period. Okay. How much is it worth at the end of year 1? So remember, it's 4 years. The first rate is 3%, and then it becomes 3.25 for the rest, so for the other 3 years. So we'll do the first year first. We'll take the marks for part B first, right? So we have 100 grand, and we multiply that by 3%, so 1.03. And that's an easy calculation. Actually, what am I doing with the calculator? 103,000. That's your answer to part A. So there's part A done. That's how much it's going to be worth at the end of the first year. Then we'll use our formula after that, because we've 3 more years to worry about. So we put it into the formula. So we have 103,000 is what we're starting off with. That's going to be our premium. And then we're going to have 1 plus 0.0325, so 3.25%. And that is going to be for 3 years. So if I put that into a calculator, that is going to work out at, is that right? 113, yes, I think so. 113,372 euros and 42 cents. Okay, so then we're wondering, well, how much interest has been made there? So this is what the person had at the end. This is what the premium was at the start. of the second year. So, well, the total amount of interest, if we take one of them away from the other, so 113,372 42 minus 103,000, that is going to work out at 13,327 euros and 42 cent. Okay. And then the last part there, they ask us to pay tax at a rate of 40% on the interest made. So this is going to be the total amount of interest here. So we get that 13,327 euros and 42 cent multiply by 40%, and that is going to give us 5,348 euros and 97 cents. And as the solution, let's check that. Yes, 5,34897. Perfect. Okay. And that's question 13. So there's all those questions there. So if you have any questions on that, you can ask me in about 2 or 3 minutes when we get to the end of the video. Okay. So let's go and have a look at this part here then. So the last thing for today is the revision exercise. And the revision exercise is this part here. So there's a lot of questions in it, right? There's all sorts of amounts of questions, but they're just repeat. There's nothing new, no new theory, just repeats as per normal. So when we hang up after the call, after you've asked the questions and we're finished with the call, what I want you to do, and I'll put up the solutions to all these questions early next week. So I want you to do a couple of them. Okay, so if we do number 3 and number 4, number 9, number 14, 6 in total, number 16, and number 19. So if we do those, and there's loads of extra ones, if people are asking for extra questions, there's loads, absolutely stacks of questions there. But if you can do these questions here, and you can do, and most of you were able for the higher level functions questions, I mean, when it comes to next week's and you're looking at exam questions on arithmetic and looking at exam questions on functions, you're not going to have a bother. So they're not homework. You're to do as many of those as you can in the rest of today's class. Okay, so we're live. So questions in the chat box or unmute your microphone and I will do my best to answer them.